Alright, so guess we're just gonna wing this one. Gonna wing it. Guess we're just gonna learn how to make a signature today for like forums and stuff like that. Gonna be using this background that I had made for my game. We're gonna use that to blend into the sig and some other things that we're gonna blend in. These are the two images we're gonna use. So we're gonna cut these, and yep, that's pretty much it. So what I'm gonna do is just minimize this, double click the background to unlock it, and select the mark tool, and I'm only going to use that much of the image. So Control A to select all, Control C to copy, Control N to pull up a new one, click OK, and Control V to paste. You can close that. Delete the background layer, zoom in, and we're just going to cut this. And I'm going to stop the video. Alright, so now these pictures are cut out. So what we're going to do is we're going to push Control N. It's going to put up a file, or you can go to File, New, create a new file. We're going to want it to be 450 pixels wide by 155 pixels high. Click OK. It's a decent size for a signature. Alright, you can delete, actually click the new layer button, then delete it. And we're not going to add these till later on. We're going to focus more on the background. Now, a part out of this image, we're not going to use the whole image, but one part out of here that I would use would probably be right there. Okay, now press Control C to copy that part of the image. Go back to your file that we just opened, press Control V. It's going to put it on a new layer, or the layer that we have. Press Control T to size the image to however you want. I'm going to make it fit at first, then I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit so it makes it even, kind of. Apply. Just fine tune it with your mouse keys, however you like. Alright, so that's going to be the base of our background. Now we're going to apply some visual effects. We're going to press Control L. What this does is you can mess with the highlights, the lowlights, and the midtones of the image. This would be the darker ones, the midtones, and this would be the highlights of the image. So first, what I always do is I mess with the highlights. I see how white we can get it. So right about there. I move this one down quite a bit. Actually, I'm going to move it up a little bit. We're going to move this one down, and then bring this one all the way back. We're going to straighten this out. Just until you get what you like. Press OK whenever you're done. Control U, you can change the color with the hue, and whatever color it is, you can mess with the saturation. Left would make it grayscale, right would intensify the colors more, bring out the hue a bit more, the lightness and darkness of the image. I'm just going to make it a little bit blue. There we go. And the saturation, I'm going to dye it down by -21. Press OK. Now press Control B. This is the color balance. Like I said, I want a blue tint to it, so we're going to move it towards cyan a bit more, and we're going to move it towards blue. And this one will move towards green just a little bit. That gives it a nice little color. Alright. What I did there is I pressed Control I, which inverts the color of the image. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Create a new layer. Actually, first I'm going to name this background. It's always nice to label your images, or your layers, sorry, because then you can look through them easier. This one we're going to call lines. You can download all these at brusheasy.com, but here we go. We're going to go to Edit, Fill, or you press Shift F5. And what we're going to do is we're going to look through these here, and I'm going to pick kind of like a crosshair one, and see how it does that right there. Now I put this on a new layer simply because we'll be able to edit it. See, Control I will invert it to white and black, but right now we're going to right click it, press blending options, and what we are going to do is we're going to give those lines a bit of a gradient. So click gradient overlay, and we're going to create a new gradient. So click right there, and right there. Get them a bit centered. Alright, this is going to serve as the top part. This is going to be this part. Then as you go down, this would be the bottom, and so on and so forth. Middle would be this one. Okay, so we want a generally light color, kind of silverish, so we're going to click this, click color, and we're going to go a little bit darker than white, so right there. This one is going to be a little bit lighter than the color we just picked, so you're going to click that. Whatever you feel is comfortable. This one's going to still be lighter. And then this one is going to be quite dark, so like that. Alright, now what I like to do is just go through all these and see if there's anything else that we can add to make it look decent. I want to add an outer glow, an inner shadow, inner glow, a drop shadow, just to give it an effect that you like. Bevel and emboss, I wouldn't really add anything like that. It kind of makes it look like crap in my opinion, but we're going to give it an outer glow. And what's special, keep it at the standard default settings, but set the color to white. And click OK. And what we're going to do is we are going to, for some reason when you use the gradients, the blending options do not work, as you see right here. I'm scrolling through them and nothing's happening to the image, so we just keep it at normal. The opacity is going to go down. We're going to bring it down to, let's see, 20%. No, I'd say 25. Alright, 25 is good. And we are going to duplicate the background layer. And we're going to name this overlay. Go to filter, and we're just going to go click anything, it don't matter. We're going to go through these to give it kind of a cool look. Whichever one that you like, you can do. Just going to go through these real fast. Alright, that one looks cool. What I'm trying to shoot for is a techie look now. We're not going to leave it like this, obviously. So what we're going to do is we're going to intensify it. Control L, intensify the light on this one quite a bit. And we're going to go to blending options, and we're just going to scroll through them. Probably going to end up being multiplier overlay. We're just looking for a nice blend right now. See, making SIGs and everything, it really isn't what you know what you're doing. It's more of, let me experiment to see what looks good and what looks bad. And yep, like I said, it's gonna be overlay. We're gonna tune the opacity down just a bit. Sorry, overlay. Tune the opacity down just a bit, so we're going to bring it to 50%. It doesn't change it too much, but it does give it a little bit. See, I'm clicking the eye thing, and it gives it a little bit more intensified light right there. Okay, now we are going to close this off. You don't need it anymore. And actually I'm going to do one more thing. We're going to duplicate this background again. I'm just going to name it middle. And we're going to go to filter, render, lighting effects, and we're going to give it a little bit of an intensified ray, just like that. And sorry about that. And this is going to be blended with the blending options as well. But this time around, actually bring it back to normal. Filter, and we're going to go to blur, and we're going to go to radial blur, but we're going to have zoom. Take it from spin to zoom and increase the amount, press OK, and you get a blur effect. Now we can blend it in. That's going to give it a little bit of a cool look, like it's zooming in, something like that, you know. Alright, and we're going to tone this down way down. Just slightly, and I might actually change these lines. I might intensify them just a little bit more. There we go. And we're going to select our first image. So what we can do with this is create a folder and just go double click the folder, background, click one, hold down shift, click the top one that you have in there, and hold it over it, put it inside there, and click that. Create a new layer. We're going to name this render 1. Now click your other opened image, Control A to select all, Control C to copy it, Control V, and we're going to fine tune it just a bit to get it in there the way that we like it. Alright, I think yeah, I'll have it right here. We're gonna render this though just a bit and make it blending. That's Control L, by the way. Click OK. Saturation we're gonna bring down just a bit. -45 looks good, and we're going to make it a bit like that. Alright. Control B, we're going to give him more of a blue look so he will blend in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the layer, or you can press Control J to duplicate the layer, filter, and we're going to do the same thing. This time around we are going to put plastic wrap on, go back to filter, same thing. Alright, we're not going to do that. We're going to go into sketch, go to water paper. So now, oh, sorry about that, Control J, go back, filter, which was it that we picked? Don't remember. Oh, water paper, there we go. Click OK. Now we have two. So what we're going to do is this one is going to blend into this one. I'm going to have a bit of an intensified light. And I want just a little bit of these squares showing. So it's going to blend in a bit. Alright, pin light is fine. We're going to hold Control and press E. That's going to merge them down into one layer, like that. Now you can just get rid of this one that we have on there that's underneath the normal one. Just click the eye tool so you're not seeing it. And what we're going to do is go to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur, and we're going to blur it by 25. At an angle of 25 degrees, -25.